Clock. We're live. Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello, welcome. Welcome. Send me some
Cheers.
hellos out there. Show me who's out there. Today we have a sensitive subject that we want to share with you all. Let's see.
That's right.
We want to share with you all.
Sorry.
So what happens? We get feedback from the phones because if we have the actual.
So last week when we were live, I was not able to communicate with the people that were online. You guys were doing it from your phones, but I couldn't figure out how to do it from the computer. So we're going to test it. We're waiting for someone to come on our live and send us a little note. Let us know that you're out there.
Oh, Thomas. Hi, Thomas. We have to. All right. So go ahead. So how do I comment to him? Where's the keyboard?
Hi, Tommy.
There you go. You're the host, so you can. I can't.
No, we can only respond back from our phones. So, mi gente, if you're out there and you're commenting, we can see your comments, but give us a minute to respond.
Tommy, we're doing great.
So Thomas is the Sammy's Jam commercial I did for.
Yes, I know.
Congratulations, Sam. Definitely keep it going. Keep advertising. Don't give up. And I will post your commercial again for you.
Not only jams, he cooks a lot of things.
He's a chef.
Yes, I remember from back in the day.
So welcome, Thomas. Share our video.
Hello, Richard. Richard is commenting from YouTube.
Okay,
Kiki
nice.
Aguilar, welcome.
That's Ernest's cousin. Hi, honey.
Hello, welcome. Okay, so we're going to get started by introducing yourselves. I am Lillian Maldonado, known as Lillian M, and also Exceptional Me. I am a notary. I am a tax preparer. I am a small business bookkeeper. I help you start small businesses, LLCs. I am a jewelry designer, and I am an inspirational and motivational sort of life coach. I don't like to take that title because I just offer it to everyone.
Yes, I am Francia Rodriguez. I go by FIRST, the initials of my full name, as well as my acronym for my business slogan, which is focused on excellence, real results. And I'm a marketing specialist. I'm a motivational speaker. I am a realtor.
Oh, well, welcome, ladies. Hola, mi gente. I am La Margarita. I am your spiritual and creative healing life coach. I am a notary, a wedding officiant, an artist, a writer. I am magically orgasmic, and I am Mother Moon's favorite child. So welcome and namaste, mi gente.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Okay, so I just want to start it off with, every year they celebrate domestic violence during 1 month, and us being prior victims and, to victorious and now motivational speakers, we wanted to bring it to your attention today. No specific reason, just for the fact that statistics show that there are 20,000 people calling into hotlines a day on domestic violence. People who feel their life is in danger. One of the sad things that I noticed was that if you are slapped, pushed, or shoved, it is not considered domestic violence in a lot of states.
Wow.
Yes. The statistics show that 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence, and 1 in 7 men experience domestic violence. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted, and 1 in 6 men are sexually assaulted. And this is on a daily basis. It is 10 million people a year, which is uncalled for. So we're going to have Margarita, give us a quick response to this.
The numbers must have grown. Did you recently look up that statistic?
I looked up that statistic this morning, and it has grown due to people being home with each other because of the pandemic.
Absolutely, because when we did the domestic violence, the numbers were, 1 in 3 and 1 in, it was smaller. And that was a statistic from early on in the year. So just to see how 2020 like grew in that aspect is very sad with the human trafficking as well and the child abuse. So yeah, so it's time. Domestic violence is a tricky little thing because people have to be ready. They have to be aware. They have to. It takes a lot of work to awaken that strength within. Because I'm not going to say that you don't have the strength to get out of it. I think you need to awaken it. Because we're all that protector. We're women, right? So I'm going to speak from the woman's perspective as I always do. And so I think that you're going to touch on something, Lillian, that I think we all need to hear about the chances and never giving up. But I think that the women need to be taught how to awaken that warrior within to say no mas. Because it's not that they're weak or pathetic or anything like that. It's fear that is paralyzing them. It's not seeing a way out. And it's because that part of us has been pushed down and it's like dormant. So can you brush up on what you were going to say? Because I think that's very imperative what you're going to talk about right now.
So one of the things, as I stated before, we went from victim to victorious, and now we go out and we speak on this subject. And the reason that we do it is that as a victim of domestic violence, you're allowing the abuser to tear you down. He is stripping you of your emotion, your self-confidence, your self-esteem until you're a puddle of mud. And to try to get you back to that takes a lot of work. And the people that can start to help you with that is your own family and friends. Unfortunately, we tend to be a very judgmental community. So we tell our family, we tell our friends what we're going through. They start to give us advice. We may leave that person and then we go right back to them. And then our family or our friend says, "Are you crazy? Why are you going back to this person after everything that he's done for you?" But that person has not built up their self-esteem and their love yet. So they don't have the strength to get away from them. And what happens? We as friends and family members, we turn our backs on them. We tell them, "Oh, but if you go back to him, go ahead. Don't call me, don't look for me, whatever. It's on you. You do you, you take care of you. I'm done with you." How many times do we hear this? And I just want to say, it could be that one time that we keep our mouth shut, we don't judge, we reach out to them again and say, "Is everything okay? Is there anything that I can do for you?" It could be that one phone call that you make, that one text that you send that could save their life or could change their mind about getting away from the abuser once and for all. But please don't give up on them. When I was being abused, I was a young girl. And I felt that I had no one to turn to. All my friends were teenagers. We were all young. I couldn't go to any of them and say, "Let me stay with you," because they all lived with their parents. So the more that I got abused, one day my downstairs neighbor heard me hysterical sobbing because my dad had told me I couldn't live in his home anymore. She called my family and she told my dad, "Your daughter is being abused." And the next day, my dad called me and said, "Do you want to come home?" That was all I needed to hear. I was home the next day with suitcases and baby and all. But had my dad not called and reached out to me, who knows if I would be here today. So
Thank
don't
God
give.
for that neighbor. Thank God for that neighbor. Sometimes we get mad when just to piggyback on that. I have seen a lot of people who have gotten mad. They call you being nosy, get out of my business, because they're not ready to leave. So when you try to step in and help, then you're a metiche, a bonchinchera, or whatever they want to call you, because their mind is so closed on it. And before we go on, Nancy Green says that her daughter was a victim of domestic violence and he used the Bible to abuse her.
Yes. Yes. The devil in the house. The worst.
I understand, Nancy.
So yeah, because in order we must be that family member and friend. So anybody who's watching, if you know somebody, family member, a friend, you can't love them with condition. You can't say, well, I'm going to be there for you. I'll feed you. I'll give you a ride to the doctors if you leave him, because that's not to their benefit. That's not unconditional love and understanding. Sometimes we are going to hurt probably twice as much as when they're getting beat, because we know that they're suffering and there's nothing we can do. All we can do is let them know that our door is forever open for them when they make the decision. When they make the decision, call me. I'll help you pack. I'll go to your house with my back to make sure there's no interruption with your packing. I'll be that friend with no judgment, because we've all made poor choices in our lives. And when you're down is when you need somebody, not to say, I told you so, to say, I've been waiting for this day. Let's get this done.
Let's go. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's some people that would actually distance themselves before you do. So they know that you are that friend, that won't judge, that will, will listen, will be there, but they'll choose to stay with that person, to not have to vent to you, or to not have to, so I feel that that they can also isolate themselves just because they want to just stay with that person, and they choose that life, and that's unfortunate. But you're right, you have to keep a close eye, and make sure that if they do need you, you're there.
That's all we want. And so we have to be what we want someone to be for us. We have to be that person that's gonna say that. Probably, we're all thinking like it's about time, but we're gonna say, come in, you hungry? Or where you're at, send me your location, I'm coming. That's your only role when your friend or family member are dealing with domestic violence. When they call, you answer. If they call you 5 times with the same story, you're like over here like that, but you answer. You answer, because you never know. You never know. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that you meet everybody for a purpose, and sometimes you're that guardian angel for that person and you don't know it, and you're frustrated beyond nuclear. You just want to grab them by the neck and say, wake up already. But the bottom line is that it's such a tricky little fucker to be dealing with somebody with domestic violence, that we do have to treat them with kid gloves, because they're already broken. Our words are just going to puncture that fracture, and everything's gonna go bust.
More, yes.
Absolutely. This is part of the reason why we are who we are today. Women need to know. You feel so helpless. You feel worthless. You feel that what comes after this? There are so many of us who have grown, who have succeeded, who are amazing lights and beacons of light that can help us guide you, to leave the hell that you're in. You just have to make the decision to want to do it. And we can't do that for you. You have to make the decision to want to change. Maybe there's therapy, there's hotlines, there's tons of groups that you can join to help build your self-esteem and your self-love. But another aspect of this that we want to look at is you're down. This person is abusing you. You don't know how to get out. And one day you snap. You either kill them, put them in the hospital. So now you're broken
And
with a
in jail.
murder charge
And in jail.
and in jail.
And let me tell you, when I would do workshops in Niantic and in the Denver Federal Prison, the majority were women who were abused that ended up murdering their husbands. And then they get to be punished for something that they were reaching out for help for so long. But because of all the bureaucratic statistics and all of that, they didn't get the help they needed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So a quick hello to Michelle Rivera. Thank you, honey, for listening. So is Richard Kyle Aiden?
He is.
Oh, who's that? What's that name?
I do not know. I think it's a video game character. I'm not sure.
But,
But he says many feel shame and guilt for being weak. Also, it can be fear for the repercussions of exposing it. That's so
Yes.
true. Yes.
Because they'll threaten you, they'll threaten your family, they'll threaten the kids. They will use anything in their power to manipulate your mind and make you feel worthless
That's so
and
true.
terrified. So it's all about the tribe. You have to get yourself a tribe that will be there for you, that will take shifts, that will say, have you checked in on her? You know, is she okay? Have you heard from her? We are that tribe. We cannot turn our backs on our fellow sisters, mothers, aunts.
Daughters. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So
That's
please, one of the stories is like, and then when you snap, you don't even know that you're snapping. I'm gonna share another experience with you. Once I had left the abuser and was now feeling safe at home, at my parents' home, the abuser comes by to see his child. So he doesn't like that I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm outside playing with my son. He doesn't like that. He doesn't have that control over me anymore. So he starts throwing a frisbee at me with all his might to hurt my legs. So, of course, I'm home with my dad. So I'm like, haha, you missed. So he didn't like that I said, haha, you missed. And he came charging at me like a bull. And when he came running towards me, I went blind. I went blind. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I got him on the ground. I don't know how I was pummeling him. I just know that it took three large men to get me off of him. And this is what I refer to about going blind, snapping, and putting yourself in a worse situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys know my story, but you can get to a point where you're so hurt, you're in that dark place, and you can and God, and you say tribe, but I'm a God believer in angels, because there was no tribe there, there was no phone there. It was God that totally stopped fatal from happening, and I would have been in a total different place today.
Yeah. Well, it's always God. Yeah. And then what in this millennium is in this era, he provided tribes, right, where of genuine support, though, you know. And I agree with Richard. That's why I started this off, that many do feel like they're weak and pathetic. So they're embarrassed and broken. That is a horrible cocktail to be sipping on every night. And and it's not, you're not weak. I think that sometimes the love or the infatuated love is so strong that you're just like in shock. I've never been hit by a man. I've never that part of domestic violence. No. But I think that then the man comes in and beats you down emotionally. So you feel broken. You feel like there's no outlet, like nobody's gonna understand because the love is still there. So you're like it's like un tira y jala, But I think that if anyone out there finds himself in a situation like that, you have to cultivate self-compassion. You have to start saying, I love you. You have to start, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna take care of you. You have to start hugging yourself and giving yourself that nurturing touch that humans need. And when you start cultivating compassion, then you start cultivating self-esteem. And then when that self-esteem goes to rising and you start getting a better hold of yourself, a better knowledge of the majestic being that you are, and then in flourishes the self-love. And then what does all that equal? Strength. It equals strength, and it's in steps. And if you're not in anywhere near those steps now, start cultivating compassion for self. Start telling yourself when that person who's abusing you is telling you you're no good, you're dirt on their shoes, when your family already just like said whatever, she's getting what she deserves because she doesn't want to leave, then you do it. That's not the end of the line right now. And today you have to start cultivating that self-compassion. Look in the mirror. When you're alone, whisper to yourself. Tell yourself, I love you. Stay strong. Stay strong. We can get through this. And then you have the self-esteem starts growing. And it can grow overnight or it can grow a week or a month. But the thing is, you're already sowing the seed. So when it's time for that to blossom, you're reaping the rewards of self-love that's going to come in such an abundance of strength that you're going to find your way. But ladies, men, before you get there, wherever you're at now, just know that you are loved. Not that you're loved. You are loved. You are a light, and you're gonna have to light that firecracker up your ass and start seeing the sparks that live within you. That no matter how many times you're hitting or you're told you're no good, or it really at the end it doesn't matter, because you are in control of you, and that's what you need to start doing. And that's the only advice I can give, other than if you need any help, you can reach out to Ajusta Tu Corona, and it's a private conversation. And
Absolutely.
nobody needs to know that you reached out, and we can find, we can do some connects and anything in the city where you're at. And I mean, we can try this, but you can't say, well, nobody's there for me, because guess what? With the same breath or the same thought process that you're saying nobody's there for you, look in the mirror, because you're there for you. So somebody is there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's God still giving you breath to get up every day, although you're living in a nightmare. So someone is there for you. So if the family ostracized you and your man is a piece of shit, just know you got you. So let's start rising above it, because we can overcome anything. The only thing we can't grow from or learn from or get better at is death.
Absolutely.
And if you still got breath in you, pues coño, let's start rising. Someone wrote something.
Kishi wrote, sometimes weakness is instilled by one's own family members with statements as, I told you so, te lo dije, eso es por necia. The list goes on. Have a strong foundation, family, friendship, support. And that's exactly what I was going to touch on next. Back in the day, our parents were always making you feel guilty, didn't build you up, didn't tell you you got this, didn't make you the strong person that you need to be. So us as women, mothers, nurturers, we need to start teaching our children their value. We need to start teaching our children that they are capable of everything and anything, and start teaching them, look in the mirror and repeat those positive words and what are they called? Come on.
Affirmations
to you. I went blank. But we really need to do that for our kids. Like, I can't say it enough.
And to quickly piggyback on you guys and Margarita, Margarita, Dios mío, is the coffee. Coffee's cold. The um, the whole point of these Facebook Lives or advice. So me personally, I wouldn't listen to my mom, right? Like we don't listen to that immediate thing. I wouldn't listen to my sister begging me, crying. Maria was my little angel. She went through it with me, and but I wouldn't listen to them. It's kind of like, yes, I got this. Yes, it's gonna happen, or I'll just, but you would, if you read it or if you see it or if you like this perfect Facebook Live, somebody just jumps on and just listens to someone else besides your family. So that's why it's good to also suggest or bring them around positive people, bring them around other people that know people, right? That is going to say something to them, or they might hear it, or they might pick up a book or attend a seminar or something, and it will click. So we can try everything we can. Nancy Green, with her daughter.
Yes.
If you've tried everything, and she's not listening to you, then get creative and get her in front of someone else, or get her in front of something like this.
Absolutely. This is just touching on some of the domestic violence, but one of the statistics that threw me for a loop that is large right now is stalking. Stalking is causing injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's filling up victim services, and people are contracting sexually transmitted diseases. And the stalker, they're in fear for their life, but they're also in fear for their family's life because they're constantly being watched. So the stalker knows everyone that they're with, their family, where they go, all the moves that they make, which is just unbelievable to me that it's gotten this far.
Well, it's been out there. It's just that now we have statistics and everything is viral and everything's media, but it's been out there. We've had the peeping toms and we had the stalkers and a bus stop, and now it's just cyber stalking, but they've been out there. Crazies are out there. Just take care of yourselves, and watch, like you said, keep your kids very close and watch them and make sure that they are aware of what's out there.
Absolutely.
But before you can do that, we got to get back. You have to be aware. You have to be awake, and that's why. With the women, my mom was abused severely by my dad, and I love my dad. Like that's my dad. That's the first man I fell in love with because he never hit us. But as you get older, you realize like, damn, that was kind of like messed up. Like my mom has scars where he punched her and split her head open. I mean, he just choking her with the electric cord. So we witnessed all that. We have front row seats. And I think, you learn from everything because although my mom went through that, I just haven't, you know what I mean? Could it have gotten there? Yeah. But, and so, and I looked at her for many, many, many years is why didn't she leave? Why did she subject us to witnessing that? And because she had nowhere to go. She was disowned by her Italian family because my father was a dark-skinned Puerto Rican. So there's a lot of ingredients in that pot, and it's according to every household. So she had nowhere to go. And it was just my dad's family that was around her. And even though they told her to leave them. But anyway, so what I'm saying is there's so much that we don't know and people won't say, or they don't even know how to use the words to say it. So Ajusta tu Corona just wants to let people out there know, if anybody who knows somebody, let them see this, that there's always a way out. There's always a way out without criticism, There's a way out without judging. There's a way out without making you feel.
Oh, we lost her.
Yeah, I think it
You
was.
could tell her she was freezing up, and her internet was freezing up, so you could tell that. She
Yeah.
looked like she was about to go there. But basically, what she's trying to say, and what we've been trying to say, is that the lack of self-love and acceptance is the basis for most emotional problems, including the feelings of lifelessness and depression that plagues so many women. And when we feel this way, we think it's okay for people to mistreat us, and it's not. No, you just have to, that is the core to everything. Once you start self-love, you get stronger, your self-esteem comes back, you're a better mother, you're a better wife. Everything is centered around that. And that's part of what we want to teach you guys also. So Justa Tu Corona has an acronym of ATC, which stands for Achievement, Tenacity, and Courage. And we celebrate you. Once you reach that pinnacle where we see that you came from down here and we see you up here, we're going to celebrate you. We have yearly conferences that we expect them to be the basis of our fundraiser for a vision that we have going forward for a safe haven for all of these victims. And that is our dream. That is what we are working on. And we hope that all of you will be a part of it. I don't see her coming back.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Another aspect, and Margarita started it, is not only are we the victims, but what is the domestic violence doing to our children? I personally have not sat down with my oldest son, Richard, to discuss how he felt. All these years later, I'm building a tribe and helping these other women, and I never took the time to sit down with my oldest son to ask him how he felt or what this was doing to him. So in our next show, 2 weeks from today, we're going to bring in our children. We're going to have full transparency, and we're going to ask them what they feel. Because if you can't get the message from us, we all know that what we love most in this world are our children.
Yes.
So let's hear it from our children's point of view, what it is that they felt and lived during these moments. For now, ladies, I don't think we're going to get Margarita back, but that is the end of our show. They will be about 45 minutes to 60 minutes long on a bi-weekly basis, and we hope to see you 2 weeks from today. Have a great evening.
Take care.
Good night.